Welcome to the program of the Atheist Center Unbound by Cages, written by Mr. Jim Herrick. Today, I am going to read out to you the 12th chapter, International Atheism, from this book. There is no evidence that Gora knew these words of Thomas Paine, but they aptly sum up his attitude to the world at large. What are those words of Thomas Paine? Those words are, "My country is the world and my religion to do good." These are the words of Thomas Paine. His first tour was in 1970 and his second in 1974. Unfortunately, he was prevented from further global contact by death, and the world thus lost his future commentary on the places he might have visited and the people he met. Nevertheless, international contacts led to the extension of the idea of positive atheism by Gora and the wider knowledge of the activity of the Atheist Center. His initial contacts led to regular World Atheist Conference run by the Gora family in Vijayawada. His primary visits abroad were to the International Humanist and Ethical Union conferences in Boston in 1970 and in Amsterdam in 1974. Humanism is a concept very close to positive atheism, that is, atheism or unbelief combined with ethical values. Gora did not enthuse about the word humanism, but it is hesitatingly advanced on account of sentimental association with outmoded moorings of religious faith. Atheism clears the sentiments and allows free progress of all people. He encouraged the leaders of the Australian Rationalist Society to change its name to Atheistic Foundation of Australia and was pleased to be the first speaker at the newly minted atheist organization. He was very enthusiastic about meeting Madeleine Murray O'Hair, leader of the American Atheists in the USA, and discussed holding a World Atheist Meet in Vijayawada. Interestingly, in the long term, Gora and the Atheist Center had a better relationship with the American Quaker George Willoughby than with the American atheists. The Quakers were almost Gandhian in their belief in peaceful methods of change. The first World Atheist Meet was planned for 1971 in Vijayawada, but was postponed because of the regional unrest in Telangana. It was, however, successfully held in 1972, the beginning of a long line of World Atheist Meeting in Vijayawada, which reinforced contacts around the world and ensured that people were aware of the activities of the Atheist Center. In his 1970 tour, Gora met many atheists and humanists and observed life in many countries. He arrived in Rome and was impressed to see the statue of the heterodox martyr Bruno. Everywhere, he was welcomed and hosted with enthusiasm and kindness, as it started in Heidelberg and Hanover. Press conferences and public meetings engaged him wherever he arrived. In Norway, the veteran humanist Dr. Hahn introduced him to Dr. John Galtung, a renowned peace theorist and campaigner. They had many ideas to exchange. Gora's first experience of discussion with European humanists was in Amsterdam, where 5 days of preliminary conversation took place in advance of the Boston Conference. He was impressed that the distinguished scientist and descendant of Thomas Huxley, Julian Huxley, was chairman of IHEU and interested that a debate was taking place as to whether to legalize abortion, seen as a part of a program for women's welfare with which the Atheist Center was so concerned. He was much exercised by discussion of racial relations. Treatment of blacks in South Africa and many parts of the world was a violation of human rights. This recurred in what was called the black and white problem in New York. He saw similarities with the inequality between blacks in USA and the Harijans in India. Gora wanted emphasis completely on humanness rather than color. Gora noticed the efficiency and sense of organization in Europe as a difference from India. He thought that in India, spiritual outlook has made Indians fatalistic and otherworldly. We think of heaven and starve now. We have become a set of lotus eaters, with the result that the big countries of the East became the slaves of the small countries of the West. Only atheism can remedy this canker of spiritualism of the East and the imperialism of the West and make both equal brothers in commonweal. While traveling in the West, Gora took great interest in meeting peace campaigners, even the religious ones such as Kenan Collins. Likewise, he was very keen to discuss the treatment of conscientious objectors in various countries. He noticed the habit of creating communes where young people lived in a free life with relaxed personal relations and anti-capitalist ideas. This was where he would find the picnics, He found such groups in England and the USA and was fascinated by their experimental way of living. He would be equally wondrous at the Occupy movement today, where such groups re-emerged but with a much stronger purpose in attacking the results of economic depression, unemployment and corrupt bankers. And from here, I shall read out in the next episode again. Thank you.
For more videos, please subscribe to our Positive Atheism English channel presented by Samaran Channels, which has crossed more than 20 crore views. Please like, subscribe and share our videos, and for notification of our new videos, please click the bell icon.